strategy is now key. And that is why you sit down with the team, you know, with Tony Sims and Charlie and Lee Emtage and Conor and Matchroom, and you plot out the future. Conor's instructions to me at the moment is give me the biggest fight you can possibly give me.
Promoter Eddie Hearn expressed excitement over the news that welterweight Conor Benn has been cleared by the National Anti-Doping Panel to continue his boxing career. Hearn shared that Benn is eager to return to the ring with the biggest fight possible. Given Benn's lackluster performances in his recent bouts against Peter Dobson and Rodolfo Orozco, a high-stakes fight could be the perfect opportunity for him to re-establish his reputation. In those fights, Benn struggled to secure clear victories and seemed to lack the power he displayed earlier in his career, prior to his suspension over a positive test for clomiphene. The 28-year-old Benn, 23-0, 14 KOs, has been out of action since March 2023, but his comeback could be delayed further if the UK anti-doping decides to appeal the ruling. In a recent Matchroom interview, Hearn discussed several possible opponents for Benn's return: Chris Eubank Jr., Jaron Boots Ennis, Mario Barrios, and Imantas Stanionis. While Benn boasts a respectable 61% knockout rate, he has yet to face any top-rated welterweights, with his knockouts coming primarily against lower-level fighters.
Fully cleared of any wrongdoing after a full NAPD hearing, that the journey can now, say, continue, feels like begin.
Despite the clearance, uncertainty lingers for Benn as UKAD may still pursue an appeal, potentially extending his absence from the ring. If Benn remains eligible to compete, Hearn will need to carefully select his opponent, as a premature world title challenge could end in defeat for the 28-year-old fighter. Benn's career before the suspension featured wins over aging opponents like Chris Algieri, Adrian Granados, and Chris Van Heerden, but he has yet to prove himself against elite competition in the welterweight division.
This really feels like we've got this new fighter who is already kind of like self-made as one of the biggest stars in British boxing, that's ready, that's poised to just attack the game.
Hearn's assertion that Benn is one of the biggest stars in British boxing is bold, considering that Benn has not yet defeated any top-tier contenders during his 8-year career. Labeling Benn a star could be seen as premature, as he has primarily been a prospect competing at the domestic level. At nearly 29, Benn is older than most fighters at this stage, which raises questions about his future potential.
And we're back in business. The best way to describe it, and this is going to be an incredible comeback. It's a massive shot in the arm, of course, for Conor Benn, for Matchroom Boxing, for DAZN, but also for British boxing, because you talk about big names in the sport right now. This young man is right up there, and he's coming back with anger, ferocity, and violence, ready to entertain the boxing world. And
Hearn laid out several possible paths for Benn's return.
We can rebuild with a big comeback fight at world level at the O2, and move into a challenging position for the world championship at 147 pounds. We can jump straight into a world title shot at 147, Boots, Barrios, Stanionis. We can step up to middleweight and fight Chris Eubank Jr. in the biggest fight in British boxing.
A potential matchup with middleweight contender Chris Eubank Jr. could be the most lucrative option, with Hearn likely aware that a clash between Benn and Eubank would draw massive attention in the UK. In contrast, challenging one of the welterweight champions like Ennis, Stanionis, or Barrios could be too great a risk at this stage in Benn's career, given his relative lack of experience and recent inactivity. Although Benn managed to secure wins over Rodolfo Orozco and Peter Dobson during his suspension period, these opponents were not elite-level fighters. Even prior to his suspension in March 2023, Benn had been viewed more as a promising prospect than a true contender. His notable wins had come against older fighters, such as the 38-year-old Chris Algieri and 35-year-old Chris Van Heerden. Subscribe. Please like and comment. This is very important for the development of the channel. See you later.